Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Cinema Chat with Amita, Sri Lanka's first LinkedIn live talk show. As you know, I go live on every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. So let's talk about this show a little bit. I started this show more than a year ago, and a few weeks ago we passed the first year. We celebrated the first year anniversary, and then I bring an expert every week and talk about a specific topic which is beneficial for the audience. And sometimes, once in a while, I go live solo all by myself without a guest. So today is one such day where I would be talking about coaching skills for managers. And one of the reasons why I talk about coaching skills, I am I'm an executive coach. Of course, I coach managers. Mostly, I coach C-level executives. And then I also help C-level executives, business owners, uh, build their personal brand to the next level. Apart from that, I also work with sales fraternity, work with uh, large organizations, especially in the area of B2B, to help sales professionals enhance their ability to sell. So I work as sales performance evangelist. So today, as I told you, we are going to talk about coaching skills for managers. And I don't have an intention of taking this conversation for 1 hour, but maybe we can spend good 30 minutes talking to each other, solving some of the problems, gray areas that you have about skills, especially coaching skills. And I'm going to give some tips for those managers who are interested in developing themselves as a manager, especially a manager with coaching skills. What's the point of you being an ordinary manager, who lacks coaching skills? And especially this is post-pandemic era, or maybe we are in the last leg of COVID-19 pandemic. And this is the time that you need coaching skills more than any other time. So if you are a manager, this is an opportunity. You can throw your questions, comments. I will do my level best to answer to the best of my ability. How could you become a better manager with coaching skills? How can I become a better general manager, better director? How could I become a better senior executive? How could I become a supervisor with coaching skills? So let's listen to that famous quote. What does it say? People don't leave jobs, they leave managers. If employees don't get along with their managers, don't like them or don't respect them, they will leave a company despite a high salary or great benefits. A bad manager is a big factor in employee performance. A good manager, no matter the salary, will inspire loyalty. So there had been many researchers that has been done about employees leaving organizations. And they have found that most of the time, one of the most prominent reasons is an employee cannot get along with a nagging manager, a manager who doesn't have coaching skills. So, what does a manager do? Imagine two different managers. One has coaching skills, the other one doesn't have a coaching skill. What do you think you will do if you don't have coaching skills? Look at the behavior. Manager will say, "Do as I say. Do as I say." That's a micromanage behavior. You just do as I say. So, what happens to the manager when the manager instructs an employee, you just do exactly what I say. What's the problem? The problem is you are micromanaging. You are not empowering them. You are not upskilling them, but you are saying, just do what I'm saying. Follow my exact instruction, 100%. Now, that's not a quality of a manager who has coaching skills. What else a manager could do? Managers establish goals, KPIs, objectives. The manager will establish. Okay, what about trust and engagement? A manager who doesn't have enough coaching skills will have lower level of trust within the team and lower level of engagement. So how about the feedback? A feedback that a manager is giving to the staff or his team or her team. It's more or less about performance. Is there a frequency? No. Infrequent feedback, ad hoc, random feedback. So that's a typical behavior of a manager who may not have good coaching skills. Let's say hi to a few of our friends. We have Tamit. Hi Tamit, good evening. We have Uzman. Hi Uzman, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining with us on this special evening where I'm talking about uh, coaching skills for managers. You just have to give me 1 second. I heard some noise from the other side of my room door. It's my younger son. I said, no noise. Okay, so we have Viraj. Hi, Viraj. Thank you for joining. Let's talk about coaching skills. If you have any question, you can throw them here. If not, I'm going to talk about it. So, what else would a manager do? A manager who would have uh, who lacks coaching skills, and what do you think he or she should be doing? Ideally, if you don't have coaching skills, this is what you would do. You would instruct and you would expect the teams to perform better. You would also act as a teacher. Maybe when a staff member joins your organization as a youngster, you will have to teach about the product, the benefits, features and benefits, whatnot, the processes, the procedures. So you act like a teacher. But if you have to continue to act as a teacher, then there is a challenge in your team. That means you lack coaching skills. You are acting as a teacher or an instructor all the time. Sometimes you lecture them. I know some managers, as a habit, every day morning you will have a pocket meeting. And even in that pocket meeting, you are lecturing the team as a manager. It's not about, elevating and motivating. Yeah, maybe within the course of that 10 minutes, maybe you are elevating them, maybe you are motivating them. But what if it is a typical lecture? And if you ask one of your subordinates, a teammate, hey, can you exactly say what your manager would say every day? That typical lecture that you get every day morning. And if they can exactly say what you say every day, there's a great chance that you have been lecturing them every day in the morning. So ask yourself, is it what am I supposed to do as a manager? That means you lack coaching skills. Then you could also, as a consultant, sometimes So you would act as an instructor, teacher, lecturer, consultant, and then you will also train. You would train them. Yeah, great. Sometimes you need training because coaching is not the only tool available. But unfortunately, if you ask me from these skills, like, being an instructor, teacher, lecturer, consultant, trainer, then you could become a mentor, facilitator, and coach. Coaching skills are the most lacking skills. You could more or less become an instructor, teacher, lecturer, consultant, or even a trainer very often, frequently. But what is required, you as a manager, is you need to become a mentor. You need to become a facilitator. You need to become a coach. And you as manager, you need to develop coaching skills. So let's look at what happens if you don't, or if you develop coaching skills. What kind of benefits can we expect? Your organization's performance would grow, would go up. Your team performance will grow. Of course, you may say, I can get my team to perform by way of instructing them and lecturing them and even shouting at them. When they look at you, they will perform you. In the morning, they see you and they get either motivated or demotivated and they will perform. But what is the kind of ideal situation? You need to make sure that your team would perform on their own because of the motivation that they have. Now, how could you bring out the best in someone? By becoming a great coach within your team. So, the speed of learning will be more when you have coaching skills because there's someone who is listening. We will be talking about the coaching skills. Then you would also spark creativity inside the team. When you are a coach, you are a manager, but you are a manager with coaching skills. Your staff will be more engaged. They will do things consciously. They will be living at that moment happily while doing their job, while carrying out their day-to-day tasks. Right? So, uh, what happens, or what do you think you should do if you want to become a manager with coaching skills? There are a lot of things, but one thing is you can delegate, right? A manager with coaching skills would delegate. How could you delegate? One of the challenges that managers have, or sometimes when I train managers on coaching skills, they are not willing to delegate, or there is this complaint, Amita, my managers or my staff, my subordinates, my team members are not ready to take responsibilities. So might as well I do it by myself. I can't delegate. I can't trust them uh, to do this. They don't do it. Right? So since I can't trust them, I would rather do it by myself instead of delegating. So how can you delegate? You as a manager, what do you think you should do as a manager to delegate? One of the things that you have to do is you have to empower your staff. Right? You give them a task, and if they don't have the power, and if they are scared to carry out the instructions because you also might change your word, I told you to do it this way. That's not the real empowerment. You take the responsibility. If something goes wrong, it's my problem. That's your accountability. So delegate. So to delegate, one thing is you need to empower. What's the next thing? Empowering is not enough. You need to upskill them. You need to send them to training programs. You need to train them. You need to give them books. You need to give them videos, and you need to show them how. And you need to listen to them. How do you listen? You ask right questions from your team. And when they speak, you shut up and listen. And then they will not be afraid to come and tell their challenges. Why they are unable to probably carry out the the task. Why they are struggling. Sometimes they don't know why they are struggling. If you are a manager with coaching skills, you will listen to them. You will ask them, and you could have a very open conversation. And then you may discover, oh my God, this executive needs training on this skill so that he could perform better. Sometimes managers treat everybody equally. Let me tell you one of the examples. One of the coaches that I have been coaching for last 4 months or 5 months, it's a 1 year contract. I got a feedback uh, at the beginning itself from the head of their department and the HR department. This manager needs to improve on communication skills. So we were checking, and then what did I find? I found that the tonality of the messages that he sends out to his team is not at all good. It's like there are things like, I would take action. So sometimes the message is threatening, right? In today's world where everybody is concerned about the other person's mental health. Imagine someone is sending a message. Invariably, you say, if you fail to do this, I would take action, or something to that effect. So what happens sometimes, these messages are copied to everybody, and everybody in that group sees you as a dictator, not someone who is willing to listen. So you are failing your team. You wouldn't be considered as someone who has coaching skills. Instead, the the human resources department decided, yeah, this manager needs training on how to become a manager with coaching skills. So here I am helping him to become a better manager, a manager with coaching skills. The one of the complaints from that manager is, my team is not ready to take up responsibilities. So now, after a few months of working together, now he is realizing that it's not that they are not willing to take up responsibilities, but yeah, the relationship between the team and the manager is not up to the mark. So the team is not performing to the maximum level that they could actually perform. So they are underperforming because the environment or the relationship with the manager is not the best. Yeah. So you need to upskill them apart from empowering them. And what else? You need to trust. You need to build trust. Now you may trust the staff, but whether the staff can trust you, have you have you made uh, a certain environment? Have you built that relationship where the employee or the staff or the team member can trust you? Have you done that? So if you haven't done that, if you haven't built an environment where they can trust you, where they see that you have failed, they trust you and they come and tell you something, they perform a task, and then trusting that you would appreciate, and suddenly they see that you have disappointed them in the past. So that trust will not be established. They will see that you are not willing to listen to them. So if you are not willing to listen to them, Will they ever trust? I have heard employees saying, I did it once. I burnt my fingers with my manager. I'm not going to give my 100% hereafter. No point. They don't appreciate what we do. I don't trust the fellow. This is what we hear. Sometimes we go and talk to uh, team members, and sometimes they open up. There's no trust, right? There's no predictability. In an office environment, in a performing environment, if you cannot predict your manager, I mean, take a situation at home. You are a dad, and let's say your son breaks the phone accidentally. He should be able to predict your behavior. This is the kind of punishment I'm going to get, or this is the kind of advice I'm going to get. So if you are an unpredictable dad, then there's a trust issue there. Your behavior cannot be predicted. Oh my God, what will happen now? I think I'm going to be in big trouble. So same thing is applicable in a office setup, in a corporate setup, team setup. Whose side are you going to take? Are you going to sit and listen about what exactly happened? So we have few uh, of our friends joining the show. We have Sasanka. Hi, Sasanka. Uh, Very useful, Sasanka says. And then we have Harshana Bandara. Hi, Harshana. Very informative session. Thank you, Harshana. So if you have any questions, any experience, throw them here. Share it with your friends. There are others who are listening from various other parts of this country, or maybe neighboring countries. Why not we share our experience? So we were talking about how to become a manager with coaching skills, right? So we talked about how you anyway become an instructor, teacher, lecturer, consultant, but then how you should be training, mentoring, and facilitating, and eventually coaching your team, right? So micromanaging is an issue. We always talk about micromanagement. So what happens when you micromanage? You micromanage because you don't trust the team. You want a perfect job, and you can never trust the team to do a perfect job. So you micromanage. What happens? After some times, the team members also will give up. They will say, how much ever I do, my manager will not be satisfied. So might as well let him do it, or we will do the way he wants. So you will become famous as a micromanager. Now that will have an impact on your growth. You need to grow, but your feathers are heavy. Why? All your team members are hanging on to your feathers because you are micromanaging them. You need to let them go. You need to release them to perform to the best of their abilities. For that, you need to trust them. For you to trust them, you need to know them. For you to know them, you need to listen to them. To listen to them, they should be answering you, they should be talking to you. Then you need to be asking great questions. Your ability to ask great questions will lead them to give you great answers. You will know them. You will know their strengths. You will know their weaknesses. And there is this bonding, the trust, which will be always built by a manager with coaching skills. So, are you asking great questions, and are you listening well? Not for the sake of listening, but in a very constructive manner, in a very organized manner. You will have a schedule This is coaching. A manager with coaching skills would not only listen to a team member while walking on the corridor. No, you will sit down with him. So I was asked this question: should you only coach low performance team members? So my answer was, hey, look around the best performing sports teams. You have a coach. So if you really look at the world, top performing business owners, top performing CEOs, they do have coaches helping them. So in a corporate setup, you need to coach underperforming or overperforming, or I mean every single person. It doesn't matter with their performance, because whoever is doing a great job with regard to their performance today might fail in their performance tomorrow. So it is important that you make sure that you coach almost everybody. Of course, you may pay attention to some of those underperforming ones, because you need to understand the challenge that they are going through, the problem that they are going through. But whether a team member is trusting you to actually come out and tell the truth, why that member, why that team member is not performing. You may ask, as an ordinary man, hey man, why are you not performing well? Why your performance have gone down? Do you get a good answer? No, you will always get an answer like the market is not good, the the conditions are not good, the other team members are not supporting. You'll get various excuses. Very rarely you will find the real answer. Real answer will come out only if you are a manager with coaching skills, because a manager with coaching skills is trusted because he or she is willing to listen to the team. So then there's trust, there's bond created between the manager and the team member. So I was talking about the micromanagement part of it, right? Why do managers micromanage? Because they can't trust the team member. So eventually team member also gives up. He also can't trust the manager. So eventually the team member loses the self-reliance, autonomy, ability to work independently. That is lost. Once it is lost, it's lost forever until you change as a manager. Why do we need so many supervisors in a team environment? If everybody knows what they are supposed to do, why do we need supervisors? Let's see, Harshana has something to say. What is your advice for a newly appointed young manager to build up a positive relationship with his well experienced and long stayed team in the particular company? So, Harshana, brilliant question at this moment. Now, what you need to do is, first thing is establishing trust. If the team is seasoned, they are well experienced, they will have a trust issue whether the manager is capable of handling them. Manager is capable of leading them. So, what do you think you should do first? That manager has to first establish trust. He shouldn't start ordering, instructing the team. He should ask great questions and listen to those answers. Probably, if the team is well experienced, I believe they are also performing well. It is easy to manage a well performing team, provided you establish the trust, you ask great questions, and you cultivate your ability to listen well. It's very, very important. How have they done? How have they faced challenging situations, and then you bond well with the team. You don't have to micromanage them if they are performing well. You just have to establish trust and help them whenever it is required. So when it comes to goal setting, setting of objectives, instead of manager setting goals, manager and the team could get together and set objectives, so that even though you are a newly appointed manager, they will start cooperating. They would love this feeling of, okay, I'm also responsible, I'm also accountable. This manager is asking me as to what he should be doing. Should we do it this way? What do you think? Is a great question that a manager could ask. Of course, you can't listen to everything and say, hey, look, anyway, thank you very much for your feedback. We'll do it my way. Then you lose trust. And that's the end of that team's performance. You will not get the maximum performance, maximum possible performance. That won't be there. They'll always underperform, not to the maximum performance levels of the team. So, Harshan, I hope you got the answer. So, it is very important that when you manage your team, you make sure that you establish trust, whether you are a newly appointed manager, whether you are a senior manager. Ask yourself, have I established trust within my team? That's very, very important. So most of the time, uh, what we see is uh, you because you are the manager, you also have got this power. That's why you feel like saying, hey, look, I can take action. Or you show certain tonality, certain tone in your communication, right? A manager who listens so much would not have to uh, be so authoritative in front of his or her team. There are better ways of handling the team. The team is going to anyway trust you uh, when they know that you are a person who is willing to listen, right? uh, who is taking time. Now, this is one of the other challenges, right? Sometimes what happens is everybody is busy, even the manager is busy. So when everybody is busy, that will lead to a situation where, okay, uh, what can we do now? Can't reach the manager, he's busy. So sometimes you need to take time in the evening, talk to the team one by one, individual, because each individual has different level of performance, different challenges. Maybe a particular team member who is not performing is having trouble at home. Maybe his or her father or mother is not well during this uh, tough time, COVID-19. I'll tell you one of the examples. There was this particular organization where I did a session for the manager. It's not one session. It was a 4 to 5 months long training uh, program on enhancing their coaching skills. And one of the managers had a discussion with a specific uh, individual whose performance was low. And then now they have a brilliant relationship. And then that manager specifically called me and said, I had only one person who was not performing well. I continuously engaged him after work on a very casual conversation, but it was like, every Monday we had a bit of a time frame. Every Monday evening I would talk to him and then talk, but not to give instruction, but to listen. So he became comfortable talking to me because I was listening rather than talking or giving instructions. The result, after about a month, or that's about 4 weeks of engagement, that particular individual started performing. So that was the message that I got. He decided to call me and said, "Hey, look, thank you very much. I was able to save one person, because if that person leaves, I need to take a new person and train that person, and I wouldn't know whether that person is going to, the new person is going to be great in performing the duties. So it's better to look after the one that I have already. He has already gone through all the trainings, have worked here for 1 year. So rather than getting rid of him, I was able to, this is in his words, I was able to coach him, and he's back to his best performance." So ask yourself, sometimes you go and tell your management, "Hey, I'm sick of training this person. I'm sick of monitoring him. I can't be managing him anymore. I want to get rid of him, or send him to another department. I'm sorry." So my recommendation to all the managers, all the HR managers over there, make sure that you teach these managers how to coach their teams. Sometimes it takes little time. It's not a one-day training program. It it needs little bit of reading, understanding the psychology of human beings, and most importantly, how to build trust within the team. Not because of the power you have. Sometimes people perform because you have power as a manager, not because they trust you, not because you have listening skills. They perform you sometimes because you micromanage them. You should be able to delegate them, upskill them, trust them. But it's a two-way process. It takes time, and you need to build them. If you do that over a period of time, of course you can't expect results overnight. And coaching is not the only tool that you may have. Sometimes you have to instruct, sometimes you have to teach. This is like the story of the hammer. They say, if the only tool you have is a hammer, you will see every problem as a nail. No, coaching is not the answer for every question, every problem. But unfortunately, coaching is the tool that nobody wants to pick up, use. So here I'm promoting coaching skills among managers. Look, be a great coach. Becoming a coach might take little time. You will have to learn the art of becoming a coach while performing your duties as a manager. If you want to become successful, in the post-pandemic era, we are going to have a great growth in whatever the industry you are in. And you need to have these great teams performing. For you to have these great teams performing, it's time to look at your current team and check who may need coaching or who is underperforming. Even those ones who are average, they may need coaching. Not instructions, not lectures, not teaching. They may need coaching. So read articles, watch some YouTube videos, watch some of the sessions I do on coaching skills for managers. You will be able to empower yourself. You will be able to upskill yourself with coaching skills. You become a great manager with coaching skills. Naturally, your teams will perform. So I'm supposed to give someone a time. A particular manager spoke to me and said, "Hey, Amit, I have one person. I want you to do something with regard to his performance. There are some areas to improve." I said, "I would like to listen to him first." So we agreed upon a time on Saturday. So this Saturday, I'm going to spend about an hour listening to him. I'm going to ask maybe 1, 2, or 3 questions maximum, and I would be listening. This is how you become a great coach, a manager with coaching skills. Learn to listen. Ask great questions. not leading questions where you would be leading your team member to a to give the answer that you want. No, you would ask great questions, great open-ended, understanding kind of questions where trust will be established and your team member will give you the real answer, the real reason why he or she is underperforming or why he or she is performing well. That is going to help you, your department, your organization, and then as a country, we also need to perform well, especially next year, the year after that, we all need to perform well. So we need people with coaching skills. It's not only the armed forces, or it's not the health sector, it's not the private sector. Everywhere, if you are dealing with human beings, you need coaching skills. So with that, I would conclude my session today. And every week I offer a book courtesy of Pick a Book. Every week I offer a book courtesy of Pick a Book. Please visit their website www.pickabook. I saw Sasanka Fonseca after a while. So Sasanka, uh, you are you are walking away with a book by the courtesy of Pick a Book. So please send me your home address and your mobile number. I will get Pick a Book to deliver your book. So thank you very much, everybody. As I told you, I'm not going to run this session today for 1 hour, but then I've run it for 42 minutes. So my humble request to you, improve your coaching skills. You would be a great manager. Thank you very much, and see you again on next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Take care, stay safe, and good night.